Hey guys, are we live? It looks like we're live. Hey guys, what's going on? My name is Jay Ware. It's been a while since I've live streamed or anything, but I thought it's best to start now. The Call of Duty Black Ops 4 multiplayer beta is coming out this weekend, and I'll be playing that. I'm trying to decide whether I'll live stream or just record videos for it. But I am a game tester and stuff, and so usually when they do these betas, if you pre-order, you have to pre-order the game to get it, to get your beta code. But they sometimes will give out free, like 2 or 3 more codes to some other people, and I usually am one of those people to receive 2 or 3 more codes. So here's how we're going to do this, guys. If you guys have any interest of playing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 this year, and you want to try this new multiplayer beta out this weekend for Xbox, it goes live tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time, so I don't know what time that is for you guys. You guys have to decide whether you guys want to play it. Now, they're doing a live stream explaining it. They could change some of these things, but I decided to pause and not see any of it so that I could react with you guys, and we'll watch it all through together. But I'm excited for Call of Duty. Call of Duty has always been there. I'm more excited for zombies than anything, but the multiplayer and Blackout has me really interested in stuff. So if I do get a code, I'm not going to 100% guarantee that I'm going to have a code. But if I do get extra codes for the beta, besides the one that I need to play my beta, I will be giving them away for free. Now, I cannot guarantee that I will get any extra codes. I do not know how many I will, but if you guys will chat in the chat right now or comment down below after the live stream, then when I get the codes, if I have any extras to give out, I will pick by random who gets those codes. Now, once I pick you, you have to go to the Xbox store and download the private beta, install the private beta for Black Ops 4. Then I can give you the codes. So, if you guys want to try out the beta and see if you guys are interested in it, make sure that you guys chat right now or comment down below, and I will make sure to get extra. I will hopefully get extra codes where I can give it out to you guys. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on the beta and this live stream and see where we're at.
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Treyarch. I'm John Raffis, and we're coming to you live from our Santa Monica studio, where apparently anything can happen. Live stream production, what could go wrong? See, old Treyarch would have just been like, audio, who needs it? But this time, no. Audio, we're coming back to you with sound.
Live streaming.
Complete package.
That's right, we got it perfect.
All right, so last weekend,
this
this weekend, all about the multiplayer beta lifestyle, and we're here to talk about it. Brought some friends with me. Got Dan Bunting, co-studio head. Got Matt Schruntz and Tony Flame. And we're just going to recap beta week 1, look ahead to what's coming up this weekend. Dan, we know who you are. We've seen your face, we know your game. Okay, but you guys haven't seen you in a while. So Matt, Tony, who are you and what is it you say you do here?
Like I said, Matt Schruntz, game designer. I work closely with Tony and our design team. I primarily look at and design our spawn system. Score streaks, perks, some of the gear, game modes, just a lot of our combat and systems.
So he's
like
more
I said,
on the
Tony and I, we oversee a lot of that.
Tools,
yeah,
that's actually
Tony.
cool.
Movements, yeah.
Yes, my name is Tony Flame. I have a title of expert game designer, which is pretty cool. And I've been working on weapons and combat and all things kind of gameplay related and multiplayer. I've been focused on that for most of the Black Ops series, going back several games. Been here at Treyarch ever since World at War, doing design type things.
So he's
continuing that into Black Ops 4.
Weapons and
awesome.
Brings them into the
All
game.
right, so as we kick off the beta discussion, let me just sort of throw it around the table. Beta week 1, general impressions. How did it work out for us, the developers?
Well, I think beta week 1 was a huge success. Typically with a beta, anything can go and anything can happen, and so we have to be prepared to react really quickly. We're always listening to the audience, listening to the community, monitoring the game, I think in terms of the history of betas at Treyarch, that one was probably our smoothest one. I mean, we had zero downtime on the network, so the game was up all through the weekend. Players were able to enjoy it, have fun. Relatively few hiccups along the way. Great feedback. I mean, that's another reason that betas are around, is so we get feedback from the fans about how's the game playing, how do they like it, what are the things that they are annoyed by, what are the things that they love, what are the things that, what are the ideas they have to improve and make suggestions to make the game better.
Was anyone annoyed by anything?
Not at all. Another reason why it was just perfectly the smoothest beta.
Everyone loved
No
it.
complaints.
From what I read on Reddit,
well, so when it comes to all that feedback,
really
hitting us
beta,
up on
like,
Twitter,
almost as good
hashtag
as,
BO4
like, some of
Beta,
the
and
other
also
multiplayer
the
games that were
subreddits, we're scouring those and even offering some feedback of our own.
Hitting refresh on Reddit quite a bit. Yep. Probably a day long, everyday task. I think that some of the really great pieces of feedback we got around weapons balance, which Tony can talk about, score streaks, devastating score streaks, of course.
Not just any kind of score streaks. Devastating scores.
The score streaks
Spawn
are really good if you can get them.
The new gear category and armor obviously was a hot topic. The specialists, there's a lot of gameplay items for people to try out and experience, and it's going to take a little bit of time for all that to kind of sink in and settle. So it was a great first weekend. I think we got a bunch of really awesome changes for weekend 2.
Cool.
I know that there was like
well, we
shotguns
will
that
also
were
have,
massively
just kind of talking about
overpowered,
sort of
or
where we're going to play.
overpowered, one of the two.
The first weekend we saw Seaside
Snipers
Contraband
were really
Payload
overpowered
Frequency,
at
and
getting
including
shots.
a new map that was new since reveal, a map called Gridlock. What can you tell us a little bit? Can anyone tell me anything about Gridlock? Ready, go.
I'll take it. All right. So Gridlock it's set in a Japanese city in a very urban, populated area. The fiction behind it is it's a bank heist gone wrong. So you've got this money truck, this cash truck that's been overturned. Some explosions toppled the freeway, and you can see where they tried to get away with the cash, and it turned into a big street fight. So it's a pretty fun map in terms of just like the setting and the environment, and it's cool. Added some interesting, fun little twists. It's one of my favorites. I love the visual aesthetic of it. I think that the gameplay is also been a pretty big popular favorite within the studio at Treyarch. I think the fans enjoyed it as well.
The water effects, oh my gosh,
and
this looks great.
That's it. Spend some more time in the sauna.
But okay,
when I get into this beta,
Took it
I'm
to a
going to be
different place.
gawking at how good the graphics are and stuff.
So
because
just
I
a
love testing
quick shout out
these
to
things.
our Activision social team. They've been running a program, hashtag COD Top Plays, and most of the highlights that they've run this week, I have to say, have come from Gridlock. Have been a lot of exciting gameplay on that map.
Amazing, yeah.
All right. So this is a little bit of a look back, a little bit of a look ahead. We're going to kill two birds with one stone. We're going to see a little bit of gameplay from a new mode that we introduced called Control on a map that people will be able to start playing on Saturday called Hacienda. So if we could, in any order, let's talk Control and Hacienda.
Sure, I can touch on Control. It's our new mode for Black Ops 4.
Okay.
It's quickly become my favorite game mode. It's the high-level idea of Control for this weekend for players who didn't get a chance to play last weekend are you've got attackers, you've got defenders, and attackers are their objective is to capture 2 zones. That is their objective in a round. The defenders must prevent them from doing so. You can see that now. We get an attacker in the vineyard in Hacienda. The nice twist here on Control is that we've got a limited amount of lives per team, which we've never done in
really
Black
cool,
Ops. So you've got some really nice layered gameplay of let's push, but at the same time you got to be cautious and remain cognizant of that pool of lives.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting new twist. It sort of made you think twice before just sort of randomly rushing into any engagement.
It also, my favorite part about that is it allows for some really insane comebacks where you're the only player left on your team and you're up against, I've seen it with a team who still has respawns left, and when you can pull that win out, it's the crowd goes wild.
Hashtag COD Top Plays.
Get it.
I'm going to submit mine. So.
There you go. All right.
Dude, this is great.
Well,
Looks
let's kind
really
of,
cool.
In week 1, and we'll even see this in the coming weekend, sort of the integration of S&D and Kill Confirmed, a lot of different types of gameplay to be had across a number of different modes. Kind of thinking about week 1, particularly as it relates to week 2, what did the first weekend of beta teach us? What are some of the things that sort of sharpened our focus in terms of, you know, what we wanted to modify, polish a little bit?
I mean, I could start just, I mean, there's always the technical side of the beta. The betas are great for, you know, technical infrastructure, just making sure the game is stable, running smoothly, and that sort of thing. And then, of course, all the gameplay feedback that we have for tuning and balancing. On the technical side, there was a lot of really great, just right off the bat, out of the gate. Some good feedback we're starting to see with, you know, matchmaking performance, with game performance, with stability. We were able to catch a bunch of bugs, some crashes that people were experiencing. We were able to squash pretty quickly. I think that's another success with this beta, is that it had one of the lowest crash rates from any previous betas we've had. And just make it as, you know, try to improve things as quickly as we can to make a smooth weekend too. And of course, it's still the beta, so there's still going to be a lot of stuff for us to improve and fix going into launch.
Yep.
But that's kind of the dry, boring stuff. I'll leave it up to these guys to go into the fun talk about gameplay.
Well, the goal of the beta is to make the launch better. When the game comes out on day one, the game's going to be that much better because of what we did in beta. And we're really off to a great start. That first weekend, we got all our, I mean, the stability was great. We got all our analytics up, so we're getting data on everything. We're getting a ton of feedback, and that's really what the beta is for. So everyone that's playing, everyone that's giving feedback is helping us do what the beta is meant to do. So it was really successful in that regard. We got constructive feedback on all sorts of fronts. On the weapon side, in terms of looking at numbers, so compared to the Black Ops 3 beta, we weren't able to really dig into that stuff until after the beta. This time, as soon as the beta is starting, we're looking at everything live, and we're able to make a lot of adjustments. So you're going to see a lot of, you saw changes even in the first weekend, tuning updates, and you're going to see a lot more for weekend 2. So we learned a lot of things about weapons and specialists. Actually, we had pretty good weapon balance at the gate, but it wasn't quite exactly where we wanted it. In terms of weapons for Black Ops 4, we think of every weapon as its own, it's really its own character, right? Which means every weapon has its own personality. And you learn that as you're unlocking attachments. By each gun actually has its own unique attachment set that's different from every other weapon, which means you have a different relationship with each weapon. Right?
Yeah, that's
Let's
very
talk
true.
about that a little bit more. Just kind of step outside of the beta conversation. There are going to be a number of players this weekend that get to hop into the game for the first time. What is it that they need to understand about that attachment system?
So it's really nice.
So you get a gun, and every gun is, even without any attachment, it's going to have its own unique properties and how it plays and everything. But you really are going to learn more as you play that gun and unlock attachments. You're going to get an attachment set that no other gun has in the game. So the way that you upgrade that, and you're going to say, I want to pick this gun because it has these specific upgrades, and it really digs into that certain play style, right? If it's an SMG, it might be a really run-and-gun, close-quarter combat focused SMG, but it's not going to be able to be used as well at long range. And there might be other SMGs or even other weapon classes that you use for those different play styles. And the attachments are really kind of what lets you figure out if you're going to go all in on that style or if you're going to diversify that weapon. And then it's just a whole different experience with each weapon. So that's been really cool, and it's been great to see players get to start to experience that and understand the depth that that system offers.
Yeah. One of the things you mentioned along the way was
is that better?
Kind of coming back to beta.
I just want to
be
able to hear them a little more than myself,
because I'm just going to be commenting randomly. I
I
have to say that, like, as someone with their face pressed against the glass of the internet, listening to all of that, like, I was really impressed with just how much we got and how constructive it generally was.
Go ahead and speak.
There were one or two of you.
Go ahead and speak for me. What
just
do you
kidding.
need to tell me?
But like, I was really impressed with just how much insight and how well articulated some of that feedback was. What was some of the feedback that crossed your desk, Matt?
The big one was the score streaks weren't devastating, apparently. So I apologize. I failed to hit the mark on that. No, there was some really great feedback. Score streaks obviously was a big one. Reddit, shout out to those guys. Shout out to a lot of community members who provided some really nice breakdowns of the behaviors they were seeing, the behaviors they were expecting. So that helped a lot. Movement was another big one. It's interesting. We've had this discussion over the past week of, this is our first boots on the ground game in 6 years. So we've got a lot of players who are used to that advanced movement, and now we're back on the ground. But we've obviously still got that really smooth and fluid movement. So we're just seeing some play styles that we haven't seen in 6 years in our games. Yeah. And one of those play styles happened to be bunny hopping. So we're gonna put those guys down a little bit and keep them
Christopher,
firmly
I can't-
planted on the ground a bit more. We've got some
remember
new
your
tuning in
tag.
there
It's been too long
for
since I've been
jumping.
streaming.
Sliding again. While we do love the slide, we were seeing it just a little too much, a little too fast. It was disrupting some of the gameplay and the combat that Tony really and his team strives to nail down. So we've worked on that. Spawns, like Dan mentioned, spawns is a big one. We were seeing some anomalies in domination on day one last weekend. Colin, my associate designer, Dan Baker, engineer who works on spawns, we all kind of huddled together and took a really close look at what we were seeing.
Okay, really quick, guys. Fardine, I understand that you want me to do a Fortnite tournament. I cannot tell you to actually do a full Fortnite tournament like I did. It takes 2 weeks to plan. I can't just do it spur of the moment, let alone I'm really busy with this beta. I'm a game tester, and with this beta live, that means this entire weekend I'm nonstop playing this. And let alone the tournament that you're wanting is very difficult to put on. Like, you would have to bring me enough. You would have to say, hey, I've got enough to do it. They all want to do it, and they're going to be for sure there, and then maybe I'll put it on. But I can't do cash prizes like I did for the big one. I can't do any of that stuff. Like, unless I'm sponsored, I cannot do the big tournaments that I did because I don't have the time or being paid to do it. And so it's very hard to do it. It's very hard, especially where I'm the only one planning it, setting up rules and stuff. I would love to do it if you have enough people. I need at least 10 teams to do a full tournament. At least 10 teams to be able to do it. But like I said, I understand just for fun, Fardine. Yeah, I'm hearing you. But the fact of the matter is, I need a minimum of 10 teams to put it on. I'm swamped this entire weekend with this beta, plus homework, plus a whole lot of other things. I'm working Mondays through Thursdays at a different job rather than just streaming and stuff. So I can try. If you can get a minimum of 10 teams to be like, hey, let's do it, and they're going to be 100% going to be there, not backing out last second, I will put it on. I will put it on. But I need to have a 100% reason to put a tournament on. I can't just say, okay, sure, I'll put it on, and then end up only have 3 teams joining, and that was a waste of time. 3 teams, it was fun and all that, but so yeah, like, if you can get me 10 teams that are 100% going to be there, I will work on it. I can't give you that it'll be next Friday. Like, that's what I'm saying is, if you can be 100% sure that we're going to have at least 10 teams that are not going to back out, I will start working on it, but it won't be next Friday. But that's where it is. I'm still trying, like, the only reason I'm live streaming right now is literally for this multiplayer beta preview. I don't know if I'm going to do a live stream for the beta itself. Dude, Fardine, don't say wow, man. Don't. You don't understand the situations that I'm in. Like I am seriously, like, in a situation where I am backed up against the wall. I'm having a lot of issues with things, if you listen to my other thing, I need a break from all that stuff. And that's the thing. I can't just be put pressure to do it next Friday or even in 2 weeks. If you can be 100% sure that I've got 10 teams to do it, I will start working on one. I will work on it. But see, if you're wanting to do a squad tournament, that means 10 teams of 4. That's 40 people that you need. So yeah, but I'd be happy to put one on if I have the teams. Yeah, Fardine, you have no clue how excited I am to put tournaments on. I just have to have the people to do it, and that's the issue. And plus, I'm the only one able to put them on. So, but also, guys, here's a good little reminder if you guys missed the beginning of the live stream. This Black Ops 4 beta comes out tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. If I usually get 1 to 3 extra codes for the beta, if you guys are interested in the Call of Duty Black Ops 4 beta for Xbox, then when I receive my codes, if you guys are chatting or in the chat or commenting down below, when I get extra codes, I will pick randomly who gets those. You kind of have to have an Xbox to get the extra codes, but if you are interested, then I will for sure get, and I get extra codes, I'll be divvying them out. So, so for me to make a video like I did before, I would have to have a set date. I would have to have a date that I'm actually set to start that tournament, so that people, like, you know what I'm saying? I'd have to set a date, and so once it goes, but like also farting, the idea of doing it on Xbox and PlayStation and PC doesn't work. I'd have to do it all on PlayStation, all on Xbox, or make 2 completely different tournaments on the same day, one for Xbox and one for PlayStation. So, like I said, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I'm not sure yet. Let me think on it, Fardine, and I will announce it if I will or not. Okay? Let me think on it for a bit. But let's go ahead and jump back into the beta information.
And isolated some problems, and we're able to turn around a fix for that, I believe, on Sunday. So we've immediately on data have seen a nice turnaround on that. So it's yeah, the feedback and all that has just been super helpful.
Dan, just kind of hitting you up, there was one bit of feedback that kind of came in around armor that we wanted to touch on. Is this news to you? Have you?
It's not news.
You heard?
That's probably been one of the most popularly discussed topics from the community on the internet. I think that it's important to understand first and foremost that we're listening to everything that people are saying, and we are on there all the time, and that it's extremely helpful. No matter how people feel about certain things, we want to hear all of the feedback. And with that category of gear in particular, it's a new category to create a class this time around. We have a goal that we want that to sort of anchor some of the play styles in the game, where you have a range of content that really kind of appeals to different players. So, for example, if you want to, if you're really into team play and supporting your team for a win, you might go with equipment charge, for example. So that's going to be something that really kind of appeals to that style of player. Stim shot obviously is going to be that's going to appeal to your really aggressive players, and we saw that was a very popular piece of gear content. But they all kind of have their place in sort of anchoring a certain play style. That said, it was not balanced out of the gate the way that we wanted it to be. It was not performing the way that we wanted it to be. Some of these mechanics did cause some frustration for players, and we are going to work primarily to focus on that, making sure that it's all balanced, that it all feels good not only to the user who's playing it, but also to the player, but it's also going to feel good to people who are fighting against that player. And that there's a way to counter it, and there's a way to kind of to move around these mechanics if you want to have a little bit deeper counter game.
Well, before we get into some of the new hotness for next week, maybe that's a good place to sort of cover one last topic, which is, so I mean, overall it sounds like things went really well from the first weekend. How does this impact gameplay heading into weekend 2, and what in particular will you have your eyes on?
We've got a ton of changes because it's such a short time frame between weekend 1 and weekend 2. We're not going to have everything addressed in that time. We've got some stuff that's coming in slowly, so I think people are going to see there's a little bit of change to improve certain things. We've got about half of the things that we want to do for the gear category, probably I'd say. Other stuff is going to come later between weekend 2 and launch. But we're still going to be collecting all the feedback that we can and making decisions about that stuff. But Tony, if you want to talk about some of the things that you've changed.
Yeah, just for a quick weapons update. SMGs, they had some new mechanics this time around. We have a lot of new weapon mechanics. We wanted to make sure that they had a place in the game, and turned out that they did. A little bit too much of a place in the game for what really the kind of competition we're going for. So we're going to be focusing on the other main weapon class, assault rifles, bringing those up so that they're more relevant. People talked about things like strafe speed for ARs feeling too slow. We're actually addressing that, some ADS time. So we're going to see some changes to bring ARs up to where SMGs were, so we get a better composition
Keep
there.
SMGs where they are.
Tactical rifles, we're doing great. LMGs need a little bit of love, they're going to get it, and snipers are getting a little bit of adjustments. The quickscope times, we're just not as good as snipers here at Treyarch as the rest of the world out there and on YouTube and everything. So we're going to be dialing those in. All the toys will still be there, but they'll be a little bit more dialed in so that it's requiring the appropriate amount of skill to get those shots.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Like
other than that, a couple things like player feedback systems, taking damage. We want to make sure that wasn't too distracting. Some pacing issues like the speed, the rate of healing, and specialist cooldown rates, things like that, to make sure we get that the right balance of gunplay and specialist equipment and just overall gameplay pacing. Get that dialed in.
I've been having a lot of damage issues, probably because I just keep getting shot all the time. But that's probably not your problem.
Just to note, we will post a full recap of all of the changes that are going in between week 1 and week 2 after this. The live stream later today, so that's something I think that we'll go into more details on that post.
Great
news to you, right?
I look forward to helping out with that. It's fantastic.
He's like, oh, that's news to me.
So the beta formally kicks off tomorrow at 10 a.m. And for anyone playing on the PC, I'd encourage you to just kind of tune in to @TreyarchPC. Our good friend Rob Smith is going to have all the details about how the PC beta rolls out this weekend, and so. One thing to look forward to on Saturday? No, not Saturday. Tomorrow. Some new hotness, and something that Matt's going to get into here is we've got a brand new game mode. Heist. So, this one is for any of you Val Kilmers out there that want to knock over an armored truck. Because heist is on the list of the dude goals for life, right? All right. So,
nice try.
Wait, is it like
can't land them all, Dan? Dan, if you could tell us what is in store for Heist.
This is something that we are super excited. We've been keeping it really tightly under wraps. I know a lot of times we come up really big with these announcements, and we've really kept this one really secret because we want to surprise our players for weekend 2 with something brand new that they haven't had before.
Wait, is this kind of like
and it's a mode that we've been
survival
working
mode,
on.
like
it's
CPUs
a lot of fun.
coming at
It's
you
very
just
different for Call of
increasingly
Duty.
worse waves?
Very different for Black
Or is
Ops.
it
It's not gonna
PvP?
it's not gonna be anything like you expect in terms of how the game's played so far. But really, the simple thing is you got 2 teams. Going to grab a bag of cash, try to get to the extraction site so that it gets extracted by the helicopter, and keep your team alive, and that's how you win. And then Matt's been working really hard on this on the design front, and there's I think a lot of really cool nuance that comes out of.
Oh, you get downed.
So Matt, tomorrow we're actually going to fire up the live stream again with sound, and we're going to have you and Dan back. We're going to do a little sort of game with devs and play through some heists tomorrow morning at 11.
Really cool.
And you've been instrumental in this mode. Tell us how this all goes down.
Yeah, I mean, Dan really laid it out. Obviously, we've had a great team working on this. Initially, it was kind of we were inspired by Blackout.
Yeah.
Actually, it's the aspect of starting with nothing or almost nothing and kind of gaining power and escalating throughout the match. How do we bring that into our multiplayer universe?
That looks so cool.
So we spent a lot of time, many meetings, many back and forths, and we're in a really good spot right now with Heist.
Cool.
Like Dan said, it's 2 teams. There are no attackers or defenders. Everybody is an attacker. Everybody is a defender. There's the neutral objective, which is the bag of cash, and that is your main objective. You want to get to that bag as soon as possible, and then as soon as you grab that bag, you're going to have an extraction helicopter come in somewhere in the map. You're going to have to hunt it down, and you're going to have to go extract that cash if you want the cash.
Yeah.
And if you're able to do that, you'll win that round. It is round-based. It is limited lives, single life. But we've again inspired by Blackout. We've got
revived as long
so
as
when a player takes fatal damage, they are going to go into kind of a bleed out stage. and you're going to have a chance to revive teammates.
I like that idea.
Like Dan said,
that is a blackout.
That
is a
meta
battle royale system there. I like that. That sounds
seen
so
in gameplay
cool,
in our playtests internally has just been really inspiring, and it's again like Control.
Dude, I'm getting goosebumps.
Heist
I'm so
really
excited
kind
for
of
this
personifies
beta.
Black Ops 4 of. I'll give you an example where we're chatting, before a round, and I'm gonna take this. Okay, well, I'm gonna take this, and we're gonna work together, and I can't wait to play it tomorrow on stream.
Yeah, I think you see in this mode, there's
reload,
it kind of just has evolved to where people are sticking together more than I've ever seen in any mode in Call of Duty at all. And it's not like it's required teamwork. It just happens. It's it's more of an emergent kind of behavior because players have to survive because they only have one life.
Yes, Aaron
to live.
Sniper. So PlayStation had the beta last week. They will also be able to play it this week.
On the mic
it opens for Xbox and PC tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight.
What are the two options?
So if you are wanting to do that
and you see a lot of
want to play that, it is open tomorrow.
Behaviors and then counter behaviors.
In order to get access codes for the beta,
best the other team, and
you have to have pre-ordered the Black Ops 4. You have to pre-order it. Now, I usually get 2 to 3 codes. I'm going to be using one for me. If I get any extra codes, I'm going to be giving them out. So as long as you guys are chatting in the chat or commenting after this becomes a video, if I get any extra codes, I will be choosing at random who gets those extra codes. If I get any.
Done a lot of these party games that are really more casual oriented.
I'm not 100% sure that I'm getting extra codes.
So it's sort of a balance of a party game.
I usually do just because I'm a game tester for Treyarch and all of that, and all of them. I'm a game tester for
if you want to play it that way. But it's really just a fun. I mean, I think
it does go live tomorrow. It's not open for everybody to just download and play. You can go download it, but unless you have a code,
some people around the studio asking me, was this designed to be a competitive game mode? And it really wasn't.
If you guys are interested, Xbox and PC goes live this weekend, tomorrow at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. PlayStation was last week, but they also can play this week.
Inspired by those party games that we've done before. But just layering on that strategy.
It wouldn't surprise me if they say, you know what, we're going to surprise you guys, we're going to start it tonight. It won't surprise me. They did that with the PlayStation.
You can jump in and have fun and not take it too seriously, but if you want to, you can party up, and it's just a blast. Yeah.
One of the cool things about Heist is what you've unlocked through rank progression and your guns, and that doesn't matter. It's entirely self-contained. So you go into Heist, and you earn what you earned within that game. The guns you get, the perks, the attachments, everything you get is earned within the game. So if you're a low level and but you can still rank up in that game mode. So it's a great option there if you want to just be on an equal playing field with all the other players.
So instead of having like a level 1 against a level like 15, everyone starts at level 1 basically.
You can't choose a specialist in the beginning.
And as you play, you get cash to upgrade your
cosmetic.
class.
It doesn't have to do with the gameplay.
That
all
is
the gameplay
really
is
cool.
earned through the course of a match, and so it's a very
and you have to buy
it's a different
ammo
twist.
again.
It's something
like,
that's
this
different
is
not only for
really good
for Black Ops, but for the franchise. It's a really
that's actually
feel,
a
but
really
it's fun.
cool thing.
A lot of fun.
I like
we've had so many hours of just
perks, everything
roaring,
has to be bought.
hilarious,
this is so cool.
Epic matches, which it brings out the volume in people.
So I get all my codes at the same time that I receive. So all the codes will get emailed to me.
Chaos to it.
Very
that
cool.
I get.
Well, we look forward to
they
playing
usually
it tomorrow.
email it tonight before the beta goes live. So last year with World War II, when I got extra codes, I got all my codes
with you guys
3 hours before beta went live, so that I could get my code in and have it ready to go for when it went live, and then I could give my codes out to whoever else I wanted. So.
Well, we've had one weekend to really do to learn a lot and to make a lot of changes.
I don't know
and to get ready
exactly
for
when I'm
getting.
getting.
We're going to have even more feedback
I'm constantly
this
just
weekend.
updating
we
my
got Xbox players coming on. We got PC players coming on. Second round for PS4, so
my Gmail
should be a more refined experience on weekend too.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Stay ahead of everything.
That we've been able to turn around so many changes and based off of last weekend. So I'm super excited for the people who played last weekend and the new players and to get our hands on that delicious data.
Apparently, I'll be helping to write some of that up this afternoon.
Yeah.
So, Aaron, I'm on Xbox. If you are on PS4, I can't get PS4 codes because I'm not on PS4, so I only get Xbox codes.
Come in and have fun. That's really the most important thing.
If you want to
love
play
the fact that we can get to celebrate
the
this
beta,
game with
you
our
have
fans
to
before launch
pre-order
and so far ahead
Call
of
of Duty
launch.
Black Ops 4
that's the part that we love the
code.
most. Is we are.
That's the only way you're going to be able to get one where you're on PS4 because I'm on Xbox.
All right,
for sure.
So I don't get any information.
On that note, we'll see you back here tomorrow at 11 a.m. for some Heist. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, so it's over. Okay. So let's go ahead and talk about this for a minute here. There's my buttons. There we go. Now you guys can see me. I'm gonna bring myself to the center here so we can talk face to face, maybe. Whoa. Never mind. We're just gonna leave that. So yeah, really new changes from last week. I haven't watched any gameplay from the beta from last week. I've completely just ignored it. I want to play it live for myself. I've been game testing some things for them. I haven't played fully. I've game tested a couple things for them this summer. So I'm not at liberty to say exactly what I've game tested so far for anyone as of right now, but I am a game tester for them, so if that makes any sense then. But it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited. So as of right now, it goes live at 10 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time tomorrow. What else? SMGs are staying the way they were, maybe just a little slight changes. ARs, it sounds like they're going to get a little bit of a buff. Snipers were really overpowered with the quick scoping and everything, so it sounds like they're going to be nerfed a little bit. Light machine guns are getting a buff. I think most of the shotguns are getting a buff, but then I think there's one shotgun that was really overpowered that they're nerfing just a little bit. So if you guys are on PlayStation, you guys have to pre-order Black Ops 4 in order to get your codes to play this weekend. You had an opportunity to start it last weekend, but now you'll still have an opportunity to play this weekend. So if you go pre-order it right now, you should get an email, whether it's today, tomorrow, something like that, saying here's your code. Go ahead, download the private beta app and play with this code. However, if you're on Xbox, I'm on Xbox. So if you guys are wanting a code, I'm not 100% sure that I'm getting extra codes, but I should. That's usually how it goes. Everybody that pre-orders usually gets 2 or 3 codes to use, and one for themselves, and then like 2 for like their friends or something. So I don't have any friends on Xbox that haven't already pre-ordered it and are going to have a code. So if you guys are wanting a code, I'm not 100% that I'm getting one, but if I do get one, make sure you guys have chatted in the live chat, or when this becomes a video, that you guys have commented on the video. And if I do get any extra codes, I will randomly pick those winners to be giving out those codes. So, but that'll do it for me, guys. We're done now with the information. That's all the information they were just talking about last week and a little bit for this week. I'm really excited for that heist mode. That heist mode looks really cool to me. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to be live streaming this beta, or if I'll just be recording videos for it. So make sure that if you guys aren't yet already subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that right now so that you guys do not miss out on any future videos or live streams, especially with Black Ops 4 beta this weekend and for it releasing here in the next 2 months. We've also got the Blackout beta coming out next month. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Also, make sure you guys leave a like on the channel. And without further ado, guys, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.